To our Parent Holy Community. Okay, together with Rev Yutaka Yamada. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of July 2025, or the 22nd of June in the 13th year of Chomil Group. Thank you all for coming, and let's begin with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Chanjin Champunim De Kyongwei Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
가전맨세 4. 전일국 주인 우리 가족은 참사랑을 중심하고 단일 부모님의 찬조 이사인 전주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongil Group, pledges to build the universal family, encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Thank you. I'd like to share Mother's prayer. This prayer Mother gave on Gorey Island on 19th of January 2018. Heavenly Parent, how many long years have passed as you worked hard and took a sorrowful course to find your sons and daughters? We know of the history that has pained heaven many times because of humankind's ignorance. Heavenly Parent, nevertheless, you never gave up on us. Thus you were able to find the victorious true parents for whom you had wished for so long. When all the people of the world are reborn through the true parents and can be called my son, my daughter, there will be such happiness and delight on that day. Heavenly Parent, the true parents, true mother, the only begotten daughter of God, has come here today. Christianity did not know your deep will or Jesus's essence, and they left a sorrowful history here in Africa and on Gorey Island. Where did Jesus's words of love your neighbor as yourself go? How could they treat people in this way because of differences in skin color? Please remember the people of Africa who have endured and waited for more than 500 sorrowful years. Beloved Heavenly Parent, today in the name of true parents, I liberate the sorrowful spirits of Gorey Island, and through a spiritual workshop conducted by Heavenly Parent, they can be resurrected as good spirits and return to earth and be with their descendants, so that Africa can become an Africa that can realize the dream of one human family centered on Heavenly Parent and become the light and lamp of the world. Let us cooperate enthusiastically to achieve a world of no more conflict, suffering, or war, one world of complete harmony and unification centered on Heavenly Parent. I liberate and proclaim this in the name of true parents. Aren't you? Thank you. And let's welcome Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hondoke. Today is also beginning the moment of the day. Let's put our trust and heart and offer the victory to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. So thank you. We are preparing this event next Tuesday. Every day I'm sharing this one. PCLC Online Fellowship. Please also invite Christian pastor, congregation, and also yourself. The Oceania region is the one of the region of the Christianity. So how to let people understand the essence of the Jesus Christ, essence of Christianity, and also work together with our true parents. This is important meaning and also important role for ourselves. So this PCLC education content is more light content, so more easy for brothers and sisters to come together and share our experience or their feeling or experience for peace. So please also help and let's support each other. And after they join together, then we can guide them to more deep seminar. But online fellowship place is kind of the free sharing hard place. Meet and talk each other, share together. That's why please also invite and please join together. And 27, we will have a Youth Assembly Asian Pacific. So please also pray and support and invite the young people to join even Zoom from the Oceania side. So let's also support well. Okay. So thank you, our brothers and sisters. So today let's continue to study the epic history of the chosen Han people of Korea. So this is the continuation of yesterday, and this is a new chapter, chapter 6, the Korean people's creativity and elevated culture of heart, creativity, science, and culture. So let's see it together. Mrs. Cassie, please.
The rich culture of the chosen Han people features inspiring creativity and significant scientific advancements throughout their history.
Yes, so this chapter we will learn about culture of the Korean history. Please.
Koreans' unique writing system. Our Heavenly Parent guided the Han people to create a writing system through which true parents, who would later come as the Heavenly Parent's representatives to realize God's original dream, would convey heaven's words and heart in their mission to save humanity through love. Created by scholars in the court of King Sejong the Great in 1397 to 1450, in 1443, this new writing system, originally called Hyunmin Jong and later referred to as Hangul, is uniquely scientific and systematic.
Yes, thank you. So this is directly related with ourselves, right? When we study about the divine principle, in the last part of divine principle, there is mentioned about importance of unity of language. Originally, our human being uh, could have been speaking the one language, Adam and Eve, or that time maybe we can call Adam's language. But because of human fall, the Tower of Babel, right? So that time, because of that, the language was divided. God divided the human beings' language, and they could not communicate each other. So if parents come again, or if parent or true parents come on this earth as the parents of all humanity, and all people return back or restore as the children of true parents, children of God, then people should speak the same language. That's why this language is important. So God prepared true parents to be born in the Korean peninsula as the Korean people. That's why the language of Korean is actually the prepared language by heavenly parent. So you could see the Hangul. Hangul was created or prepared during the King Sejong the Great. So King Sejong's time, 1397 and 1450, and in 1443. So already Hangul was prepared at that time. So Hangul, a unique writing system imbued with Heavenly Parent's heart. So this is the King Sejong, created in 1443 by King Sejong, a unique writing system with scientific and systematic structure. For the first time in human history, a king with a heart like that of Heavenly Parent developed a writing system for the people, embodying the spirit of caring for the people. 애민정신. The Korean language itself is very expressive and can convey God's heart of love and even God's anguish and pain. Han. So you can see this Chinese character. 애 mean 정신. So 애 is love, min is people, and 정신 is spirit. That's why embodying the spirit of caring for the people. So when people or foreigners study the Korean language, it's easy for us to study than another language. So what do you think? Maybe many of us are really studying the Korean language and tried many times to study Korean language. So do you think Korean language or Hangul is easier for foreigner to study or difficult? So anyway, compare with another language, Hangul, if you study even some kind of the theory or regulation, then it's easy to speak, it's easy to read. Maybe understanding or speaking, it takes time, but at least this Hangul, if you study or learn this system, then easy to pronounce and easy to read. So this is the word of Hangul. Please.
Hangul represents sounds through symbolic blocks, symbol blocks, composed of a combination of consonants and vowels. Hangul's consonant and vowel symbols were created with a scientific design based on the shape of a vocal tract. Hangul follows a clear and consistent phonetic rules so that anybody who learns it can pronounce Korean correctly. These characteristics make it an excellent writing system, but the most notable aspect of Hangul is the motivation for its creation. Hangul was created in 1443 at the direction of King Sejong with the spirit of loving the people, because he wanted to endow all his people with the power that comes with the ability to read and write. The Yangbang nobility and educated class of Joseon wrote with Chinese characters, but the number of characters and their complex structure made it extremely difficult for ordinary people who did not have the time to study them. Out of his love for the people who did not know how to read or write, King Sejong had a script created that was easy to use.
So this was created the combination of the sounds and also the what shape, right? If the person who studied Korean language, maybe you could understand. There is some word ya, o, yo, u, yo, u, yu, u, i, and also kana, tara, mapasa, aja, chaka, tapaha, kata, pasa, cha. So these two combination, then already the sound was created. So how is this? So anyway, we try to learn and also master this language, the Korean language, and also this language of our true parents. So let's continuously study and then learn this one. And also another part, the Hangul, this character itself is also the special. This is the specialty, but in the same time, this the language of Korea, language of Korean is called as the language of heart, a heart language. So there are many kind of way of expression. So that meaning is really God prepared this language in order to share the heart of our heavenly parent. This is important. So even sad, even happy, or even some color, so many the way of expression. I could not say everything, but if you study this Korean language, then even you can see some small differences of your emotion can express by different word, and people could catch immediately. That's why, in order to understand the heart of our heavenly parent, this learning Korean language is really the fastest or shortest way. So through understanding, if we study the true parent's word directly in Korean language, the feeling or realization and understanding is different. So please also try until last moment and really speak or understand directly about true parent's word. Please.
Even though he faced strong opposition from many court officials regarding the proclamation of this new writing system, he stood firm on the basis that the use of Hangul benefits all people. Thus, it truly embodies King Sejong's spirit of loving the people, Amin Jonshin, by enabling all people to have access to knowledge. Hangul was created out of the love of a king for his people and country, like a parent caring for his children. This is like the heart of the heavenly parent who cares for all of humanity with love.
Thank you. So before Hangul was created, people used only the word of the Chinese character because all culture also came from China, especially the writing or speaking. So that time, people, especially those high-level people or government people or those people just use the Chinese character. That's why it's really difficult to learn and also speak. But when they created this Hangul, even any kind of people, even kids can study and can express through the word. That's why this was the great development. Maybe we can say convention, right? It was also a great thing. So Hangul, a unique writing system imbued with Heavenly Parent's heart. The Samje Three Talents power, a philosophy of heaven, earth, and humanity, the philosophy of Hananim. So this kind of, you can see, this is kind of the word system. So each word or each things has also the special meaning. The structure that expressed Heavenly Parent had 심정, truth, and the word. So those things are just not only just the word or expression system, even each things has the meaning. So 삼재, three talents, power, philosophy of heaven, earth, and humanity, the linguistic tool through which the true parent Messiah will convey God's word to humanity. So this word system or writing system was already prepared more than 500 or 600 years ago. Please.
Advancements in science and technology. The Han people developed science and technology in various fields, including astronomy, printing, medicine, and agriculture. These were significant achievements by a people who understood heaven's will and the principles of nature and were striving to create a harmonious and ideal world. From ancient times, the Han people have had a great interest in the heavens and were knowledgeable about astronomy. The Chomson Day Observatory, designed for the observing the movements of stars and planets, is one of the world's oldest existing observatories. Built in the mid-7th century, its structure and function demonstrate an advanced level of astronomy for the time, nearly 1,000 years before Galileo.
Yes, thank you. So this was also explained last chapter. So advancement in science and technology. So there are many development during the history. So we can see the development of sciences and various technology, astronomy, printing, medicine, agricultural technology, etc., and seeking to establish an ideal world through full understanding of heaven's will and natural principle. So when we study about the Korean history, there are many kind of the science and technology. So Western society, there are many convention and development happened, but in the same time, Eastern society, there are many things happened, and in the Korean Peninsula, especially, there are also all those things happening. So let's see one by one, please.
Later, in the 14th century, based on the comparatively advanced astronomy of the time, King Taejo, 1335 to 1408, the first king of the Joseon dynasty, created the chart of the constellations and the regions they govern. This chart accurately recorded the constellations, in total 1,467 stars, and played a significant role in agriculture and administrative management. Within a few decades, King Sejong, the fourth Joseon king, had developed a celestial globe to accurately track the movements and positions of stars and planets. The celestial globe provided a model for the universe with Earth at its center, and by measuring the paths of celestial bodies, it was used to observe constellations and predict planetary orbits, solar and lunar eclipses, and other phenomena.
Thank you. So it was happened during the Joseon dynasty. So Joseon dynasty is one of the longer dynasty in Korean Peninsula. So during that time period, there are many kings and there are many inventions also. So we could see those solar or lunar eclipses and also other phenomena they really observed and created those form, I think, and we can see. Okay, please.
This foundation in astronomy led to efforts to measure time during the reign of King Sejong. A concave sundial was invented that allowed accurate time measurement in the latitudes of the Northern Hemisphere, incorporating a number of improvements over the stone concave sundials of ancient Greece. This advanced concave sundial was a unique time-measuring device in the Joseon period. Moreover, so that they could tell the time even when the sun was not out. They developed a clock that measured time by the flow of water and automatically rang a bell to indicate the time of day. These clocks provide examples of technology that was sophisticated for the period.
Thank you. So this is interesting. The concave sundial. So this was also developed, and in the same time, developed a clock that measure time by the flow of water. So and automatically rang a bell to indicate the time of the day. So we can see there are several efforts there. So measuring time is also the important effort. So it was happened even past time in Korea. Please. Okay, so advanced science and technology. We can see this is the photo. 천상 천상 열차, 무ян지도. So chart of the constellations and the regions they govern, recording 1,467 stars. So I believe this is kind of the map of the stars. So you can see they already express or show like this. And astronomy developed from a deep interest in heaven. Honchon we celestial globe, an instrument to accurately observe the positions and movements of celestial bodies. So this one, we can see similar things also. Then Cheonsonde Observatory, the oldest astronomical observatory. So this was also established. So through those things, this Korean Han people try to understand and try to support the life of Korean people at that time. So we can see through the learning history, we can see that many science and technology, even cultures development happened. Okay, please.
The Han people's practices of observing the heavens through the ages and developing technology, in addition to the tradition of performing rituals before heaven, are evidence of the unique culture of a people who sensed they were descended from heaven and who could implement responsible stewardship of their world. In keeping with their love for knowledge, the people of Koryo developed printing technologies with which to share the knowledge with others. During the Shilla period, woodblock printing had advanced enough to mass-produce single books, but the method was not efficient for producing a variety of books in small quantities. This led to the Koryo period to the invention of metal movable type printing technology. Notably, as Buddhism became the state religion, efforts were made to develop printing technology for the wide dissemination of the Buddhist scriptures so that believers could easily come to know the teachings. By the close of the 12th century, they had developed metal movable printing technology using one metal block for each Chinese character. Thus, 2 centuries before the West developed a comparable method of printing, movable type was used during the Koryo period to produce the Sangjon Gogum Yemun, detailed and arranged texts on rituals of the past and present. Unfortunately, no copy of this work has survived.
Thank you. So it says that the Han people's practices of observing the heavens through the ages and developing technology, in addition to the tradition of performing rituals before heaven, are evidence of the unique culture of a people who sensed they were descended from heaven and who could implement responsible stewardship of their work. So we can see those culture were actually given by heaven. So always they are respect and attend heaven, and also the pray for heaven. And it was also talking about a printer. So those printer was established and they are using that things. So let's see the slide. So the Cha Gyong-nu, Clepsydra, and the Engbu Ilgu. So development of time measurement technology based on astronomy reveals that the Korean people, Cheonsong Minjok, are the descendants of heaven and have a heavenly culture. So we already mentioned this one before. Cheonsong Minjok. Cheonsong is descendants of heaven. Minjok is people. So there was those culture, like all people are the descendants of heaven, and heaven is the parent, and heaven is kind of the starting. Anyway, heaven is parent. So throughout the history, they could recognize, and even culture was created like this. Okay, so please.
The Jigji Shimji Yojol, an anthology of Buddhist teachings printed with metal movable type in 1377, is recognized as the world's oldest remaining metal type printed work, published 6 centuries before Gutenberg invented his printing press. The advancement of Koryo period metal type printing technology was motivated by the desire to spread the principles of Buddhism, the mainstream religion at that time. This foreshadowed the time when the Heavenly Parent would send the true parents among the Korean people to disseminate their newer expression of truth. As can be seen, these various creative efforts permitted the development of innovative technologies that led to a system and culture through which people's lives were improved.
Thank you. So there are many inventions in the Western society, like centering on Europe, but in the same time, in Korea, the Korean people also invented, created many kind of things. So through these things, we can once again recognize. So this is the final slide. Advanced science and technology. Through the Korean people, God showed in advance the time when the true parents would come and spread the truth. So 산정, 고겜, 예문. So detailed and arranged texts on rituals of the past and present. Metal movable type printing technology in the late 12th century, 200 years ahead of the West. And the 직지심체 예절, so an anthology of Buddhist teachings, the world's oldest officially recognized work printed with metal movable type. So this was the oldest things. So we can see 200 years ahead of the West. So in Korean Peninsula, those new printing system was created during that time. So through development of that technology or science, once again we could recognize the Heavenly Parent investment and also the preparation as the chosen people. So today we share especially those science and technology or development of the culture. So we didn't know many part of the history of Korea, but through learning these things, even small things or even the each element, we could see how heaven guided the Korean people and prepared these people as the chosen Han people. So through learning these things one by one and more, we could discover and we could also feel and realize the heart of our Heavenly Parent. So today is like this. So let's continuously study and learn about God's involvement and understand the heart of our Korean Han people and the chosen people. So thank you for joining today's morning hondoke. Let's have a great moment and have a great time. 감사합니다.
Yamada, thank you very much, Rev Yutaka, for sharing with us. It's certainly very interesting to go through the epic to see the history of the Han people. I mean, it really, a couple of things. The language was one thing, but first I was thinking of the word Han. How Han has a lot of meanings, in Hangul, the language, and Hananim in God, and in Han as the chosen people, and also it mentioned Han as the expression of a deep sadness and suffering and anguish of people often, I heard of Han in that aspect before. So I mean, in English, it's one word H or three letters HAN, but in Korean, because I'm sure of the different Chinese characters and the different expressions in the Korean language, that the one word as seen in English is actually so many variations and really that the language is very unique in the ability to express deep emotion, and so that you could easily create a single nuance of love or heart with one word and that everyone could understand. And like myself, having a Greek background, I've known that the word love in English is so not expressive enough. In the Greek language, there are 7 different words for love, relating to the relationships of people and also the relationship with God. And the language is really the cornerstone to the culture of heart, and the ancient languages all started from some understanding of life and heaven. And Korean itself, the motivation of the king, as we know, was with the spirit of loving the people, and so the creation of the language, and this language enables. I saw that a oneness on earth, that spoke of the heart of humanity towards heaven, and then also the unity of spirit, through the as we know, on earth we speak a language, and it should have been one language, as if Adam and Eve hadn't had fallen, it would have been the true parents' language would have emerged then. And everyone spoke the same, but it didn't happen because of the fall. Everyone got dispersed and then different languages came up. But we know that our 3 stages of life, in the womb, on earth, and finally in heaven, not only do we breathe love, but we also communicate as love. So that the language of heaven is a love language, and the language of earth is a heart language. Well, motivated by a heart language, but and so I was thinking about how important the language is, because it gives the culture, it gives the identity, it helps the creativity of the dance and the rituals and the all of the different aspects of that make up a uniqueness of a culture, and and understanding how so many words are lost in English because of it doesn't have that richness of heart, and that was quite amazing to think about. How language really united the people, and also enabled the people to advance quickly, because it helped them to express their ideas very easily. And then very interesting to realize or understand that the history of science, especially through astrology and printing happening, not just decades but centuries before the West. The East was already mapping the heavens and already printing when the West was still in tribal, trying to dominate other tribes through warfare. So really a modern society, hundreds of years before the West. It's that really surprised me, and seeing those pictures and the evidence and the oldest book in print. That's quite gives added respect towards the Korean people and culture. Anyway, some thoughts this morning from me, and anyone else that'd like to add something, please go ahead. Yes, Mary, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think it's amazing, like how in Korea they studied astronomy and they applied it to agriculture. And Rudolf Steiner in Germany, it was after probably about 200 years ago, I'm not sure the date, but he also lectured throughout Germany on methods of agriculture using astronomy. And even now, the biodynamic agriculture and also permaculture, he didn't speak of permaculture, but the people that studied established permaculture were influenced mostly by Rudolf Steiner. So he was really aware of astrology and the influence of the stars on the planet and his influence of the stars in agriculture and the planets in agriculture. So I was sort of inspired to read that here this morning that Korea studied through the study of astronomy, they also applied the principles of that in their agriculture. And I know Rudolf Steiner was really concerned about the development of Western agriculture because it was separated from the spiritual principles. And he felt that without the spiritual principles, then the path of development would not be the right path. And we can see that with the division between science and religion, the agriculture really developed in a way that was not in line with the principles of nature. And that's why we end up with so many problems within agriculture from a scientific perspective, because they're depleting the soil and putting toxins in our food. So I was sort of inspired, to hear that this morning, and made me think of Rudolf Steiner and how he really wanted to incorporate the laws of nature into agriculture, and using the influences of the stars and the planets. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
So I think really we can study about history. This is really interesting, as the Mrs. Mary said. There is surely the motivation or reason, and also surely those thoughts are related to create those things, or spirituality or attending heaven. So those things is really giving the influence of the culture or even development of those things. That's why maybe through the things they received many inspiration from heaven also. That's why I think created the things. So even so many, I think, things are there. So if we can see or learn the root of each things, maybe we can receive many inspiration too. So that's really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Reverend Stone, go ahead.
I was just reading recently in the principle that that because of the fall and the human spirit became so dull, the advancement of science was really delayed hugely. And we would have, had Adam and Eve not fallen, we would have reached today's level of technological and scientific understanding so much earlier. Anyway, the thing interesting also, the slow progress of the development of understanding through many centuries as compared and contrasted with today, which is like a massive explosion of understanding. It's just like a massive contrast or difference. How slow, it was, and then because of the coming of true parents and the culmination of historical age, it's just exponentially gone up. Anyway, that's just something I was thinking about as we're reading today. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably another reason why God needed history of people to be together as a united people, because of the fall, the slowness of advancement. Needed a consistent group of people, because there's history also shows the rise and falls of many peoples, and they could only go so far and then collapse. But if the people could stay together, then they develop things, as the Chinese culture and the Greek culture and the Korean culture we're looking at, because of their long history, they're able to leave many things that are used today. So I think God really needed cultures. Well, it should have been Adam's culture, should have just been the one. So God strived to maintain a people, but that maintenance always resulted in them losing heart. And once they lost the heart and connection to heaven, then the family destroyed, and then the whole culture disappeared. So really keeping the heart alive, and the attendance to heaven and the family centered as one unit could express God's desire. And but it took time, as you said. Yeah, very true. Yes, Sandy, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Just the relation between spirituality, creativity, and elevated culture. I can't help but think of the wars at the moment. We talk about technology and high science, etc. At the same time, you look at Gaza and just obliterated, and wherever the wars are, Ukraine, and so how much that fine link is, isn't it? That everything can just be destroyed in an instant. So unless we have really that heart of that mother encourages of one family under God, you really can't. It's just the same as using a rock to kill somebody, right? You know what I mean? Whether it's a high tech, the latest high tech weapon, or a rock, it's still the same thing. yeah, so yeah, epic Han people, the creation of a culture, and that's the same thing we as Chonyagukians have to consider, isn't it? How to, I mean, even when you lose one child to a strange mindset or strange whatever culture, anti-culture, it's really horrendous. You know, it's a massive thing. So how much we need to really, as mothers, focusing to create this education pipeline and, you know, quickly get it out there, because people are still killing with a rock, you know. No matter how fancy the technology is, it's still the same thing, right? And even the mindset. I'm really enjoying these YouTube videos of these people going around the world exploring cultures and so forth. These young people, you know, exploring China and Tibet, and you can travel through these videos that they put out, and you can really empathize and see, you know, how very much the same we are, eh? And yeah, so yeah, it's relevant to us today, isn't it? The epic. We are creating a new epic. We have to put out this new epic. Otherwise, yeah, ignorance, you just destroy it all in one moment, you know, and whether it's relationship or relationship between nations or relationships within a family, you know, it's devastating. Thank you. Just a thought.
Yes, Chris, got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, just following on from what you're saying, Seti, and before you spoke, I was thinking how important it is to introduce people to true parents, and it really, once you do that, their minds can change. And why I'm saying that is because the things that are developing now are just, oh, there's a new religion forming, and it's a religion of people who believe that there are living spirits inside of AI, and that's what's talking to them. That there's actually living spirits trapped inside these AI. I mean, it's just, if we don't do this, the human beings are completely losing their senses. I mean, you know, this, it seems a bit off the point, but it is all about the Korean Foundation and introducing them to true parents to actually keep people's sensibility in the world. You know, people are going completely nuts. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just bring up the screen. Okay, let's pray together. Thank you. Chew, chew, chew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing, and I hope everyone has a great day, and see you all again tomorrow. Okay, bye.
You have a good day.